Okay, you know that feeling, right? Craving hits, you need Chinese takeout, like right now.
Oh, yeah.
But then you think, okay, where in Deltona? Which place is actually good? It can be kind of overwhelming.
It really can. So many options.
Well, that's exactly what we're tackling today. Consider this your quick guide. Our mission, basically, is to cut through the noise and figure out the best Chinese takeout spots in Deltona based on what locals are actually saying.
Exactly. We've got this updated 2025 list of Chinese restaurants right here, focusing on those user ratings and, more importantly, the reviews.
Right. Because stars are one thing, but the comments tell the real story. This isn't just a list, it's more of a deep dive into why certain places get thumbs up from Deltona Diner.
Yeah, we're looking for those little details, the things that make people say, okay, this is the place. What actually makes them stand out?
All right, let's jump in. Who's at the top? According to this 2025 list, the highest rated spot, with a pretty impressive 4.5 out of 5, is China King.
China King, okay. 4.5 is solid.
But here's the interesting bit right away. The list notes they were actually closed the day it was updated.
Huh. Closed, but still number one.
Yeah. What does that even tell you?
Well, that's fascinating, isn't it? It suggests, even with only 2 reviews listed here, the positive feeling must be really strong.
Must be.
People mentioned good Chinese, and one specifically said savvy staff, busy location, and good food. So maybe they have this great reputation that just, carries them.
Yeah, like a loyal following maybe. Even if they weren't open that specific day, people still rate them top. It makes you really curious.
It does. You wonder what they're doing so right, food-wise or service-wise, to build that kind of impression.
For sure. So China King definitely keep them on the radar. High rating, positive comments, even with that little closed asterisk. Now who's next?
Okay, moving down slightly, we've got China Kitchen. They have a 4.1 rating.
4.1, still very good. And more reviews here.
Yep, 7 reviews for China Kitchen, so we get a little more texture, I guess.
And what are people saying? Any specifics?
There are some interesting details. One reviewer specifically called out the gravy, said the gravy was perfect and served on the side.
Oh, wow. That is specific. Gravy on the side.
Right. It points to maybe like attention to detail and people really appreciate. Maybe other places just dump it on or it's not as good.
Could be. And someone else just said, nice egg roll.
Yeah. Simple. But hey, a good egg roll is important. A classic staple done well.
Absolutely. And the overall vibe seems positive too. Like just generally good Chinese food.
Exactly. Seems like a solid, well-liked option based on those comments. The specifics about gravy and egg rolls give you something concrete.
Yeah, those little things really can make a difference, can't they? Perfect gravy, a good egg roll makes the meal. Okay, so let's look at the next one. New China City. This one has even more feedback.
Right. New China City has a 3.9 rating, but it's based on 28 reviews. So a much larger sample size here.
28 reviews. Okay, so what themes are popping up for them? What stood out?
Value. That seems to be a big one. Several comments mentioned huge portions for the price.
Ah, the portion size factor. Always important for takeout.
Definitely. Getting good bang for your buck,
Yeah.
And it's not just quantity. Someone said everything was delicious, so taste is there too.
Good combo. Big portions and tasty.
And convenience. Someone mentioned it's close to home.
Always a huge plus when you're hungry and just want food fast.
Absolutely. You don't want to drive across town. So New China City seemed to hit that sweet spot. Good value, tasty food, convenient location. Probably why they have so many reviews.
Makes sense. Okay, next on our list is Lucky Garden. They're at a 3.7 rating from 12 reviews. This one sounds a bit more mixed.
Yeah, Lucky Garden's interesting. Shows how subjective taste can be. We saw one review that gave both pros and cons.
Like what?
They said, the white rice is a bit hard and the lo mein tastes a bit sweet. Okay, those sound like negatives.
Right. Hard rice, sweet lo mein.
Yeah.
Not ideal for everyone.
But then they finished by saying it was very good.
Wait, very good. Even with the hard rice and sweet lo mein.
Exactly. So you have to wonder, what else did they like so much that it outweighed those points? Maybe other dishes were amazing, or the price was great.
It really highlights that, doesn't it? One person's too sweet is another person's perfect. Doesn't tell the whole story sometimes.
Precisely. Taste is personal.
Okay, let's keep going. We've got a couple tied at 3.5. Red Bull, Asian Bistro, and China Fun. Lower ratings, but still maybe some useful info.
For sure. Red Bull has a lot of reviews, 55 actually. And one comment ties back to portions again. It's not unusual for us to have a portion of our meal boxed up to lunch the next day.
Leftovers. Another point for value, potentially.
Could be. But then you also see a more lukewarm comment, just, it's okay, 5, 10, So maybe a bit inconsistent.
Possibly. And China Fun, also 3.5, fewer reviews though, 17.
Yeah, but China Fun had a really enthusiastic comment that caught my eye. Someone said, the crab rangoon is the best around, and I love their mi fun and orange chicken.
Ooh, okay. Specific dish recommendations are always helpful. If you love crab rangoon or mei fun.
Right, that could make it your go-to spot, even with a 3.5 overall. But there was also a negative comment, too. Something about a money-hungry business.
Ah. So reviews aren't always just about the food, are they? Sometimes it's the service or the business practices.
Exactly. It's the whole picture.
So even in this middle tier, we're getting clues. Red Bull for potential leftovers, China Fun if you're chasing amazing crab rangoon or orange chicken, maybe.
Just like it.
And just to round things out, there are a few others lower down. Boiled crab China taste at 3.4, New Peking at 3.3, and then Panda Express way down at 2.0.
Yeah, the feedback seems pretty limited or less positive for those.
So probably safe to say, for our mission today, finding the highest rated, we should stick with the ones we've discussed more.
I think that makes sense. We want to focus on where the positive consensus seems to be strongest. We acknowledge the others exist, but the real insights for finding the best are probably higher up the rating scale.
Okay, good. So let's synthesize this. If we boil it all down, what are the key things Deltona folks seem to care most about when picking Chinese takeout based on all this?
Well, number one is definitely food quality and taste. That's obvious. But the specific mentions like the gravy, the egg rolls, the crab rangoon, the orange chicken show, people notice and appreciate when particular items are done well.
Right. Taste is king. What else?
Value for money comes up a lot. Those huge portions for the price comments for New China City and maybe implied for Red Bull with the leftovers. People want to feel like they're getting a good deal.
I can't argue with that. Anything else?
And I think convenience and maybe efficiency, it's not always explicit, but things like close to home for New China City or even the busy location being seen as a positive for China King sort of hint at that. People want good food, good value, and they probably want it relatively quickly and easily.
Makes total sense for takeout. Quality, value, convenience.
The trifecta.
Pretty much. Okay, so quick recap for everyone listening. Based on this 2025 snapshot of Deltona reviews, the top contenders look like China King leading the pack despite being closed that day.
Followed very closely by China Kitchen with those specific positive notes on gravy and egg rolls.
And then New China City scoring points for huge portions and being delicious. Those seem like the top 3 starting points.
Absolutely. Those ratings give you a good starting point, but definitely look at those comments we talked about. Do you care most about perfect gravy or getting a ton of food?
Yeah, if you love crab rangoon, maybe China Fun jumps up your personal list.
Exactly. Use the ratings as a guide, but let the specific feedback help you zero in on what matches your taste. Personal preference is huge.
So true. All right, that wraps up our deep dive for today. We've sifted through the ratings and reviews for Deltona's Chinese takeout. Now, the big question is for you, listening.
What are you going to order tonight?
Yeah. And based on what we discussed, what's the most important factor in your takeout decision? Is it the highest rating? Those specific dishes? One size? Or just what's closest? Something to chew on? Tell us.